Yeah, I mean, we can already start if you want to, but maybe you can introduce yourself firstly, if you want to, of course. Because Tal or Racetar is definitely a known guy in the Trackmania scene. And maybe you can just flex a bit who you are and where you're coming from and how long you play the game.
Okay, so I started playing in around 2011. So kind of an oldie guy, but back in the days, I think I was one of the new ones actually. Well, I mean, I started playing much after Riolo and Racens, all of the other known big names, that's for sure. And yeah, not much to say. So playing for about 10 years, mostly being hunting Nadio tracks so far. And also really enjoying analyzing tracks. So let's do some of it today.
Yeah, let's do some nerd talk.
That's about it.
Yeah, let's do some nerd talk actually. So
Indeed.
But I'm looking forward here to see that, because I mean you were approaching me and I thought that this is a really nice idea that we could do on our stream or on the stream, and we just want to talk about every map, like let's say 5 minutes over every track, what the WR strategy is there. And yeah, let's actually start with AO1. I would say it's actually I'm just gonna go into the edit button, and
first track is very interesting. We can dive into it.
Yeah, did I open up the replays? I think I have to add them here, right? Add track. No, where was that again?
Yeah, so I try to mix all of the top 3 together in each map, but for some maps I assume that some of them are bugged, so you will only be able to watch probably the world record or something.
Yeah, we have Trabadia's replay here, and I mean, you can see already the first... Well, I mean, how can we start this one? I mean, it's AO1, it's the most infamous track, right? And on this track we have already a jump that you're approaching. So Trabadia is releasing just before that jump here. You can not hear that, but he's releasing before that and then jumping diagonal. But why is he jumping diagonal? Maybe you asked that. Firstly, to get a good alignment, of course, because jumping from right to left is faster. And also, yeah, because it's just the meta way, right? Then he's steering to the right just before the landing to not touch the wall. And then we are approaching the second part, of course, just go as close as possible to the wall there. Of course, as you can see, he's going very, very close to that, almost touches it. And then there is the SD that is coming up, the speed slide, which is also very, very hard to nail. I can tell you that. I did that. And then also one thing beforehand is this part, this small drift here. But I think we're actually arguing about that, because I said that this is a speed slide, right, Tal? But it is not.
Yeah, true, but I agree. I think it's more like a bump, like a bump technique, so that the car is gonna tilt, but not over tilt, so that you don't lose speed for the finish, basically.
Yeah, you don't lose speed for the finish then, so that is something to keep in mind, and that's also a great and important factor that we have figured out. And I think so as well, because with that your car gets that tilt with that left back rear landing earlier, I think. And with that in mind, Trabadia is just finishing the run here with a great time. And yeah, it was a 23.83, if I recall it correctly.
Yeah, I think you are. And also a very, very fast time. And of course, very precise. You can't go any more precise than that, that's for sure. I mean, TIS did, but of course, not gonna be too easy to beat.
Yeah.
Though he may have beaten actually the 0.83, if I can recall. Might be wrong here though. No, 0.83, my bad. 0.83.
Yeah, I mean, great time from Trabadia. And, well, I think the hardest part of this map is nailing the start and then, under the pressure, doing this superbly good SD. Because, you know, an SD is a technique where you tap the brake for a very small amount of time. You really want to minimize that. And mysteriously, I think at 410, if you do an SD, you can gain time. I think it's 400, 410, something around that, if I recall it correctly. But it is precise input. It's very precise input, because you see his skid marks. They're just constantly there. And with that, he's just gradually gaining time. And it's not like that he's gaining a lot of time. He's only gaining 0.2 of a second, give or take. But that is a great technique, and also a thing that was discovered very late into the game. I'm not even sure why, but Kripke had the first WR here, if I recall it correctly.
Yeah, I also think like that. And also, as for the speed slide, of course, the skid marks are very parallel. You gotta keep them not too far, not too close, so that you can actually keep it going and make it going, basically, the speed slide, so that making it as long as possible to gain momentum and speed towards the finish, basically.
Yeah, exactly, and that's also why this technique here with the... I think this is actually better than with the left-right beforehand, or it's a... It's a right.
To angle your car best for the finish.
Exactly, that's why you do that. And then, of course, you want to avoid the landing. But I think that's it for map 1. I mean, there's not too much that is about to say about this track, or do you have anything to add?
I think we covered like the most, like start trick, the no jump, the speed slide, the ramp trick, all of the main keys and the vital points of the map.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty good map to start with, actually. Very suitable for beginners, very nice playing style, very precise. Nice map to start with.
Yeah, now we have the next map. So maybe... Oh, now we have every replay in there. But we have a replay here from Roland and from Hans that I have in here. So we can analyze them. But AO2, that is your call right now, right? So you're gonna take that, right?
Yeah, I will do my best. So this map is really about gear control. It's basically you need to not shift too early, because then you're gonna lose speed. And also if you shift too late, then of course you're still gonna lose speed, because you just started too late, so obviously players are already much in front of you. So as you can see, they're going very close to the first wall over there, the first barrier. Then they can align the cars. You can already see the wiggle that they're starting to do here, to gain even an extra momentum here. Then the tilt of the car just below the finish that they just saw, between Roland and Draysens, and straight line to the finish, with all of the speed that you achieved, basically.
Yeah, I mean...
So, it's a short map, but it's very technical, like many key points here that you can ruin if you don't do correctly.
As
also notice how true. Also look on how much they actually go to the right, so that they are able to take a hard left, and also make that hard left pretty precise. So I assume they did it with the gamepad, so that they don't overdo it and lose speed near entering the next corner, basically.
Yeah, it's really hard to replicate that. Also, the nosedive here from Roland, and the start with the wiggle, because you can see the car is gearing up, and then they're initiating the wiggle. Oh man, the camera is so bad right now, actually. But can I change that?
It actually looks quite good, I think. But definitely the most difficult part here, the toughest part, is definitely the tilt after the dirt. Like aiming for the correct spot in the finish, not bugging out when you land. That's definitely the toughest part here.
Yeah.
If you want to achieve a good time.
But what I really like is that, you know, Roland was... Nah, he was not behind. Okay, yeah, he was behind because he picked a more diagonal line here on this part. You can see it. But then he's jumping, and he's just inside of Hans. You know, look at that. He's inside of him here. And
yeah, but actually happened the weird thing. Told you sometimes the replay is bugged. So actually the world record is Alien on this map. Those are the top 2 and the top 3. So Alien had an even more precise line, which is kind of a mixture of both of them, of Roland and Draysens combined. So if you start to yourself, but there's room for improvement, and they could mix both of them lines, then basically that's what Alien did.
Let me check if I can watch it. Yeah,
so
I can watch
Alien did stuff that aren't from this world.
Okay, so we're gonna take a look onto Elegance Line now. So 0.44. Great time.
Very fast time. Very fast time. Mostly done by the tilt, I think. Where he actually gained a lot. Yeah, see this. This is insane.
And also
even
the
that
ending.
little juicy touch. Ending could be better though. You see, I think lost like 100 there, but again, very fast time. Like you can go much faster than that. That's for sure.
Just look how he lands there. Look at that. That is beautiful. And
yeah,
then...
he picked like straight line to the finish above the perfect speed for the finish above the correct way to normally take it. But it's faster because the finish is very close. So it makes sense.
But yeah, the ending, you know, he panics here to the right because he wouldn't make it else.
Man, my breathing would be so heavily if I were him in this one. Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, great time from Eldian here. 0.44 if I recall it correctly. And I think 48 and 50 is, I think, second and third WR. Or is it?
Yeah, I think 2 points. 47 and 48.
Ah, 47, yeah, here. Yeah, true. Oh yeah, but still, I mean, 300s on a map like that, on a 15-second map. That is so prestigious. It's so much, actually. It's really a lot. It's a lot of, it's a lot of time.
Also very close to crushing, actually.
Yeah,
with the crash and the finish. Yeah. Small margin of error.
Okay, now we have definitely one of the memeier tracks in this series. With a bug that has been discovered. Not sure when that was, 2010, 2011.
Yeah, by Enex. Enex was the first one to actually do it. Actually, casually, he did it by accident. He didn't even want to do it. It just happened. So pretty crazy.
To remove track. Oh, like that it was. Okay, perfect. Now I need to... Oh, fuck, I delete the camera. Wait. Oh, no, I'm... Edit. Okay, there we go. So now I need to do like... Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, happens for the best.
It has to start here. Okay, perfect. Then we have the camera here. I'm just gonna stay with them. I'm just showing you the replay because we have something interesting on this one. Now we have Kripke, I think twice on here, if I recall it correctly, is the name. But yeah.
Probably you can see you can see like the same style for the name.
Yeah, but look at this bug. Look at this bug.
Amazing, the exact same line. What the hell? Very nice.
Yeah. I mean, Kripke jumping a little bit more to the left here. Not sure what time is faster. But let's just keep going. Okay, it seems that Kripke doesn't have the best speed, so he gets equaled by Sinto, and this left time here was the faster one. But yeah, I mean, not too much to talk about this map until the part that is coming up here. There is a very, like just a diagonal line that you take here. Just very diagonal to reduce the distance that you travel. And then take it very slow. I think you can get a 52 or 53 CP here. 52 is very fast though, but it's possible. And yeah, then there is a particular spot. So Trackmania is a game that is, deterministic. So that means that pre-F maps work like that. And with that in mind, you get that bug every time. But you need to nail the approach, the speed, and the angle. And that's what Kripke and Sinto have replicated here compared to the Enex bug. So for the people who don't know what the Enex bug is, it's a bug that was discovered by accident by a player called Enex, and he did, I think, an 18.44 there, which was WR way back then.
Yeah, sure. He was the first to get the Ramstein bug, but he basically was the only one to get it at the time for this map, so people just named the bug for him, but he basically did the Ramstein bug before it was cool, if so to speak.
Yeah. And also this map created a wave of hunting. So there was, I think, Stadium A4, or was it A4 or A3 with the edge bug in the ending as well. We had some things there.
A4 for sure. Great, great map.
Yeah, and also
with the bug at the start. So yeah.
Yeah, and also Stadium B3, I think. We had that as well at the ending. We also could get a ram bug.
Also by the same player, by Sinto as well, I think.
Yeah,
and Kripke.
Yeah, they hunted it. So definitely not random, but you need a lot of patience for that to get it, because it is random, but you know, if you find your feeling for it, you know, and you maybe get it, it's hard. But why do they do that? You might ask yourself, isn't it faster to just go full speed? But no, then you don't land smooth in the slope. You don't land smooth in this downhill, and you won't gain as much speed as the others. So that's one of the most important factors that you have to consider.
True, and the first rule of Trackmania, you want to basically stay on the road as much as you can. Don't be just in the air. Avoid airtime at all costs, basically. So by using this bug, this Ramstein bug, they all basically reduce their airtime and stay more on the road, which is a vital point for the game.
Yeah.
To gain speed.
Exactly. So anything that I missed, maybe the ending, but I think that is safe.
Yeah, and must be precise. The precise last turn, not pulling a Chokerino, but that's basically it, I think.
Yeah. I think that is it. I mean, Kripke, so the Kripke replay, he didn't get the best speed, but it's because he landed, or he didn't jump diagonal, and his landing wasn't quite optimal. You can see the landing here wasn't really smooth. You can see it compared to the other ones who didn't get as much airtime as him. But yeah, that's the replay here. That is map number 3. And with that in mind, we're just gonna go to map number 4, which is AO4 Acrobatic, and the shortest map, and also with that, I think you can keep it very short on this one. But this map is definitely also not too easy, because the gaps are quite big.
But don't mislead yourself, that just the fact it's a short map doesn't mean it's like completely easier to compete on, to hunt for the best times, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, we see different approaches here, but William and Roland are doing it the same. And they didn't go for that overseer and get the more direct finish compared towards Sinto here. So that's why they will be slightly ahead, but only by a hair I mean, it's not too much, but this is what matters on this map. Yeah, this is what matters on this map. Sinto's replay was driven online. That you can see it ended earlier. But yeah, I think a .79 is the WR. Right?
Yeah, true. And actually, a very fun fact about this map: the whole top 3 are exactly the same time, always .79. Different thousands though. Different thousands. I would say William B is probably at the front with Rollin, and the top 3 guys a bit behind, Mr. Sinto, which was also on AO3. But 3 players with the exact same 100. That's not something you see much on Nadir maps actually.
Yeah, true that. But also a very short map. So how can I go on the free camera actually? Wait, switch to free camera here. There we go. So let me actually do that. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Sinto barely got that .79, but still was able to pull it off at the very end with good speed.
Yeah, you can see it here. He is so far behind. But his replay is ending a bit earlier, so that's why we can't.
Yeah, and William B is probably in front, but not by much, by a hair basically.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a little bit.
Was this cheated by William B? I'm not sure to be honest, but with the report now, who knows?
Yeah. So I think that's like 1,000 even, 1,000 or 2,000 of a second. So not too much.
Yeah, but very, very close, very close. Also, they all got the bug, I think, the REM bug, which gives you like a perfect approach for the end, having it like a circle line, which is very close to the finish and tight speed. So nicely done, I think. Very nicely done.
Let's show this start again, because the start is of course what decides the map, right? William with a different approach there, kind of going a bit too more to the right, as well as Sinto. So yeah, you want to get your nose down there. You want to get your nose down there. Sinto with a different approach there. William and Roland got it the same, but yeah, I mean, this map looks so easy, but it has so much here. You don't want to oversteer here and want to get the perfect alignment. So yeah, it is definitely not an easy map. But I think with that, we can just already go to the next map, because we could talk forever about this one, but AO5 is way more interesting, I would say.
True, though it's funny because it's a short map, so you would say normally like what there is to talk about this map, but there's actually a lot. And also I wouldn't be surprised to see a .78 in one day on this map. Yeah. I think it's actually possible to achieve. Not easy, but it's possible though.
Would be great to see a test run on this map actually, like a real, like a very brute forced out test run, the maximum on this one.
Yeah, we need Donadigo for that.
Yep. Okay, so this map, again, dirt, so we have a lot to talk about this one. It's one of my favorite maps, actually. And we see different approaches here from Link, Roland, and Race Hunts. So, also the ending really hard to do, but yeah. I mean, where can I start on this one? Of course, we have a dirt uphill. And on dirt, it's very important to either steer as much as possible, but not too much, or just smooth steer. And in lower gears, smooth steering is very good. Till the point when you are gearing up, and that's what you can see here. Smooth steering from Hans, going so wide and also getting a lot of speed, and then you want to go for you want to hit that right corner there in order to get a nosedive or just an earlier landing and land smoothly in there, and then hold your gear, because you have to full turn here. And if you gear up, you're gonna lose a tremendous amount of speed because your car is slowing down. And then the ending is just a different approach from Link and from Roland. Maybe I can go to a different camera here. How can I do that? Switch to free camera. Well, I could just do that, but I think... but how can I go to the camera of Roland here?
Wait, what do you wanna do? Showcase the different camera. Just press the camera itself, like on the right, then switch there. You need to press the block itself on near the camera.
This one? Wait.
No, under the camera. Yeah, exactly, to your right. The block to the right of the camera, and then switch.
Right to the camera. Need to press the... Switch to clip camera, and then the camera. But then...
No, you want to switch to like another player?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you're right now on the block on the camera itself. You need the block on the right, the white one.
Oh, okay. So
that's the white thingy. Yeah, exactly, and then you switch.
And then to switch to... Hello.
No, but the right one next to the camera, not next to Roland. You pick from the camera itself.
Pick the camera itself.
The right rectangle next to the camera. like on the right of it.
What right of it is camera? You mean this? No, so I click Roland's replay, right? And then I click on go to last frame, no. Add track, no. Switch to free camera, reset jaw, reset roll. No. Switch to clip camera.
Again, you need like to press the rectangles on the right, the white ones, but next to the world camera, not next to rolling.
This one.
Two above that.
Yeah. And then I click now on
the black on the white rectangle itself, but next to the camera, not next to.
Dude, oh my, I'm so dumb. I am so dumb.
All good. And now just pick and switch right now. I can already see a YouTube clip from that.
Yeah. Same.
All good.
Okay,
like
so we have
to change the target. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I wanted to show Roland's approach because it's definitely different.
Yeah, actually they take it a lot different. I mean, Roland and Link are actually going for the two sides of the dirt turn, dividing it into two sections, and the Raisins took the old approach of taking it as one big turn, which is actually slower, so he ends only as third place.
Yeah, so yeah, Raisins is doing that, of course, and with that, Roland and Link are just not disregarding the rule of dirt by just steering as little as possible, and they're just doing it there, and with that gaining more speed and also a great approach for the ending. But yeah, the ending of itself is very, very hard to do. The ending itself is very hard to do because you have to do that cut to jump here to the right and steer to the right and then jump into the finish and bounce, don't hit it and make it. So that is a very hard map. But yeah, I mean, is there something else that we have on this map, or did we cover everything? I'm not sure.
I think we covered the most, like the car control at the start, which is the most important part. Then how you take the dirt part, which is the gear control, and dividing it into two different sections, like Roland and Link did, if you want like extra speed. And then that's basically it. The speed for the cut, of course, the approach, not hitting the finish, which is definitely a crucial part. And that's basically it. As for AO5.
Yeah, it's a great map. I really like it, but the ending is really, really tedious because the approach is so hard to get. The cut before that is not hard, but the ending jump itself is not that easy. So yeah, next map is AO6. AO6 is the next map. And yeah, I think the first map with the real major game changer with the flip. But man, it's so crazy how the things have developed in this game. So let's go into the map, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about my fellow member who was still in here. So we see the Lucker's name. I'm just gonna follow Alien here, and you can maybe say something about
so again, they were deleted most of the other records because of the replays. It's kind of a buggy software. But yeah, he's pulling off many techniques here. That's the replay by Oli, right? It's the replay.
No, that's the replay from Alien.
Okay, second place was cutted, I see.
Yeah, it's second
place. Still very nicely cut that is done up here. And yeah, actually many key points for this map as well. Unfortunate Ragstein bug at the end though. But other than that, you start with a series of side ramps where you need to cut just a little bit of the ramp to land earlier with again good car control, landing sooner, which leads to basically more speed. So for the middle part, actually there are 4 ways of taking it. You can just drive it normally. You can you can make basically a side ramp, but then you have too much speed, so you need to not hit the CP, which is kind of tough. Still possible, but very, very tough.
Yeah, very tough.
And then there are two different ways of taking it that remained, which are the flips basically. You can flip and stay on your right, which is what he was doing, I think. And you can actually pull off the Dame flip and be between the two poles, which is also, I think it's kind of safer, but it's still faster than the normal way, but not as fast as actually staying on your right. So a lot of different ways to actually take it. Kind of interesting. And then of course the finish, which is very, very nicely done with the nosedive. You can't do it without it because you're just gonna basically crash there if you don't do it. So you really need your car to dive down. And yeah, that's basically the main idea here, I think.
Yeah, I think you covered everything. Too bad that Alien has gotten a bug here. So that is too bad. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
one thing here, this ramp. So if you do this flip, there's like a 1 in 1.1 chance that you get a bug. So 90%.
I actually got it. I did a flip and I actually got the rest and back. That's
yeah.
Sucked, but it happens though. It happens. You need to be ready for it. Yeah. Also, actually, for the finish, I think I missed something.
I'm gonna...
instead of just the tilt, you basically want and the side ramp. You can actually combine both. You can do both the tilt and the side ramp in the end, and to gain some extra momentum to the finish. It's pretty tough, but I think Raisins did it in his no-cut world record. So pretty tough, but it gives you like a 0.5 advantage, I think, over everyone else.
Wow, that's a lot actually. I'm following Logic's flip here. Oh my Jesus Christ, that flip was beautiful.
Yeah, nicely done. Very nicely done.
Great flip. I mean, he was probably having a 200 BPM at this point, but he nails the ending. And as you said, the left right before that gets the nosedive and then jumps into the ending without a bug.
Yeah, you can even show it in like slow motion so that people get to see the nosedive, because it's super important. You won't be able to get another medal without it.
Yeah, it's one of the harder ultimates. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
But that is it for AO6, I think.
Yeah.
A very nice map.
Okay, let's go to A Pablo. Let's go to A7.
A Pablo. A Pablo is a good name for that. That's for sure. Perhaps a demon in the future, but who knows? So first drift map actually in the campaign. So it's about time that we see a drifting track. Yeah, very, very interesting track. The start is already interesting because there are many approaches on how you can take it. But I think Pablo God did it pretty insane there, with a clean landing and already aiming to the right, which gives you a better approach for the next part. But you can also take it like Raisins or a Demon, approaching to the right just a little bit after. So let's actually see it now, the top 3. Very nice start by all of them, basically.
Wow.
But yeah, you can see the advantage Pablo D has only after like the beginning. So very nicely done by him. And for the rest of the map, the first rift, you can also take it wide or narrow. Basically, you can have the saying of how you want to take it. But you need to find the correct sweet spot in which you actually get the best of speed possible for you, and then also release just a little bit to make sure you won't crash for the end of the track. So I think this rift is people are getting pretty scared of this map, because this one isn't easy. It's a very narrow space, and you can hit two walls, the one on your right and the one to your left, and you still want to get just a little bit of space so that you're able to take a bit to your left, and then just a small release and full going into your right.
Yeah, I mean, so, we can also see it in the replays here with the release, the small release, that Hans is like slowing down a bit because he's releasing a tad later because he's a bit behind. But yeah, this drift is really the make it or break it on this part, especially that you are going into a nose slide just after that again. You know, you really have to drift a bit, but then you want to exit the turn as a nose slide, else you're gonna crash the wall to your left.
True, and the closer you are to this wall, as you said, it's the make it or break it. Basically, Pablo did it the best, and you can see how much advantage and speed he gets for the rest of the track. It's quite crazy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you want to keep as much speed as possible, not going over wide like Raisins, I think. But he still didn't lose much out of this, and yeah, just aim for the finish, basically, with all of the speed you got without losing it. So very, very nicely done once again.
Yeah, great map. I really like it, yeah.
Yeah, especially by Pablo D. People actually did the TAS of this map and pulled off 0.20, and Pablo D actually tied it. He equaled the TAS time, doing 0.20 as well. So pretty safe to say it's his map at this point, but crazy performance here. Very, very nice.
Yeah, also Demon is hunting it, and he, I think, also only got a 0.23, so Pablo is the god on that. He is definitely the god on that.
I wouldn't call a 0.23 only, I think. That's already a major time.
Compared to Pablo, of course, but just Pablo has picked the great line also at the start here, going like way closer to them and has the same amount of speed. Then he released a little bit for the maximum amount of speed in the ending, but the ending is just the perfect mixture between the line of Demon and the line of Hans, because Hans is going so outside, traveling more distance, has more speed in exchange, but you can see his car is just so far to the left. he has more speed in exchange, but look where he is ending up here. Look how far behind he is. And Demon goes so tight and loses on a lot of speed there, and Hans is coming dangerously closer. Pablo had the line between, or the mixture line between both of them, and I think that is a very complete run from Pablo.
True, and I don't tend to praise players, but I will praise Pablo Gde in this one, because if you look closely, he actually did quite an interesting technique. He took it very, very narrow, not wide actually, so that he's able to have more space for the upcoming turn. So here you can see he's actually losing speed for Wave Demon, but now he's actually gaining all of this back plus even more to the finish.
Yeah.
So by doing this little technique, little of course is an understatement, but he definitely caught here up like at least 200ths of a second, which is not much, but for such a track it's a lot. It's a lot. 200.
Exactly. And also the approaches look the same, but then just in the last moment, Pablo is getting that really well. So it is impressive how such a simple track with 2 drifts can be so, harsh, you know? I mean, I remember when the WR was at 29 or something, and now we have a point 20. And I think the barrier point 19 can be reached, right?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this map, along with AO1 and just a few more, is one of the toughest one in the entire campaign, basically.
Yeah.
Very difficult one to beat right now, especially with Paolo D beating his time for the third time already. That's quite crazy.
Yeah, he's beating himself. But yeah, I mean, coming to a track that is also hard to beat, we have AO8. AO8, one of my favorite tracks, and also a cut that was discovered very, very recently. So
also the first multi-lap in the game.
Yeah,
and the only one in the A series, I believe, in the white series.
So we have a replay from Jeff here, so let's just take a look at this, because this one loaded in, let's take a look onto the FWO player. So it's a NASCAR map with a drift that is really satisfying to drive, I have to say, but it is, definitely not that easy, because you have different kilometers per hour, because you can, in the second lap, you are faster than 600 kilometers per hour when you approach this turn here on this part where I am right now. And if you steer too much, you actually get an auto drift. And with that, your car is harder to control. Maybe Jeff is showing us that. But here he's not getting it. You can also release in that turn to get a better approach. But Jeff does it really good. Very, very good. And also exits very far to this barrier to just preserve as much speed as possible. You can see that turn not quite perfect because he went for the cut and then just jumping into the multi-lap with a bit of a tilt of the car to not get the auto drift, but a great alignment to this turn and clear this one full speed as well. Okay. Then
and the passing to the last lap, to the next lap is quite crazy. But actually the replays again were cutted because Jav is only the third place. So the interesting fight is probably between Hefest and Rollin, I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do that afterwards. But that's what I wanted to state out here. Look how smooth he's steering, because with a not smooth steering, he would slide out, or he would lose the control over it. You can see the skid marks there already, and he's just moving very carefully because this drift is very hard to pull off. But yeah, Jeff is doing it here, and he's approaching the last lap. Not the best approach there, but of course it's all about the cut in the ending, which Jeff is approaching right now. So let's take a look how he's doing it, very far from the left and bumping from the obstacle block into the finish. Beautiful execution. Release, of course, is sometimes possible. It's possible without release, but great cut from Jeff. And yeah, let's actually...
beautiful cut, except for the finish here though.
Yeah.
But cut is amazing. Cut is looking very nice.
Okay, now we have the thing that is really good.
Yeah, so Hefest and Rollin was actually quite an ongoing battle. I think they took each other's records for at least 3 times before setting these ones. So these are pretty crazy to beat. I think it started with Demon and then they improved it by almost a second, I think. So yeah, very, very tense.
Yeah, I think we have explained everything about this map. It's all about NASCAR turns and also how to, you want to predict and get the better line beforehand, that you, anticipate the turn. Let's say like that. Hefest is approaching it very far here from the left because he wants to get that right turn just done and get himself the better angle there, That's why he's doing that. That's why he's approaching it like that, how he did that. And let me actually change the
Yeah,
camera.
beautiful speed here by Hefest. I mean, look at that. He's already so much in front. It's like there was required some love, and Hefest is coming and hugging all of them, basically.
Yeah, but
Spreading love to everyone.
But great line from both of them. I mean, he's ahead, yeah, but we're gonna approach the last lap here then. I mean, there's not the auto drift there. Roman's coming closer, has good speed though, but Hefest just did that one really well. But the ending, of course, the cut can be very, very hard to do. And I didn't do it myself. I got close, but I couldn't make it. Not sure about you.
Yeah. Also, don't underestimate Rollin. I mean, he's a bit behind, but he's basically going for like a sick cut.
Yep.
So, amazing. Almost the same line too.
Yeah.
Pretty close one. Hefest jumping a bit more from the left, but then he doesn't have to release. So it's still very, very close.
True. He's jumping like that, and Roland also with both with different approaches, but kind of they're hitting the same spot. They're aiming for this TM sign. They're for this white TM sign. So interesting to see that despite both of them having different approaches, they are having the same outcome of that. Also the same angle to the finish. But Hefest just with a great ending as well. A very complete run in my opinion, with a great start as well. And yeah, Roland gets himself also a good time here with a 58.8. And then we have Hefest, I think, having a point, what was that, a point 69? And what time did he have?
Something like that, I think.
The
He had 71 and 83.
Yeah, 71 and 83. So the gap is quite huge. But yeah, that's it for the map. I mean, the cut is very hard if you try it yourself, but you can do it with release. But the bump itself can be really hard because you not bump into the finish. You jump left, right, center, everywhere, but not where you want to jump.
Yeah, at first I was mind blown for seeing such a cut. I mean, it was quite crazy.
Okay.
And, and also it's pretty rare to see like water bumps being taken out of scenery and into using for cut purposes basically. So you don't tend to see it on so many maps, except the next one actually, AO9 as well. So they do have something in common.
Okay, Okay, let's do those. See, let me delete that out here. Okay, William B and Trinity. Wow, so this map is, let's go with William B here, like that. Okay, so we're gonna start here with this one.
Yeah, again, I don't know, I already see comments in the chat about William B and me talking too fast, so sorry guys about that. That's my normal speed, even slow down. But yeah, I don't know if it's a true time or like a questionable one, but
we don't know yet.
But yeah, let's still analyze it nonetheless. You can already see the amazing trick by Trinity. I think I was the first one to do it, but unfortunately, like always, I forgot to save the replay. So yeah, it happens though. But he's actually taking the Ramsden bug into lowering the car direction and movement, basically, towards the ramp, ending up with way more speed. And unlike me, actually being able to finish and perform the last grass slide, which you always do here. So here in slow motion, thank you Turbo, you can see how the car is lifting up the front right wheel. Then basically after a very small amount of time, that is currently extended because it's slow motion, basically the car is dropping down. He stopped the rotation with an air brake, and then using all of this momentum and exact precise, like a glove even, landing here to the platform, is gaining way more speed and up to the finish. It's pretty crazy. And look how much ahead he is of William B right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great display of skill here from Trinity. He was probably very surprised by that, but yeah, we've seen, or we have talked about that beforehand. The ram bug can be there, and it is faster because he didn't have to release. And this small release is like gaining him so much. It's unbelievable. Of course, also the better line with that by just landing early and all those stuff. But I mean, pulling off a bug slide then, I mean, you failed it, you said that.
Yeah, also with such a speed, it's actually difficult with too much speed to do it. So it's tough to see it in the replay, but he's having way too much speed for this. So it's actually nice that he's able to make it. And also, I think we skipped a trick in the start. And
True.
There's actually a wiggle trick in the start that you need to do to gain more speed before the freewheeling block, basically. And you can only do it above a certain speed. I think it's 230, 235, something like that. So you wait until you get to the speed, and then immediately after getting out of the road to the grass, you start doing these little zigzag movements called the wiggle, which work amazingly well on grass and give you more speed and basically more velocity towards the rest of the track.
Yeah, just carrying the momentum because there's a free wheel block coming up. Before the free wheel block, you do the no jump to minimize airtime. Rule number 1, minimize airtime, or like, you know, that is a very good thing. And then you just pull off the rest of the map. Either you do it like that, like Trinity, waste like 10 million attempts to get that, or just be a god like Trinity is, or Tal and unfortunately failing it. But this bug side can be really hard. And so yeah.
Yeah, and also for the grass side for the end, you don't wanna take it too wide basically, because then you're gonna have too much distance until the finish and you're just gonna lose and lose speed every hundreds that goes basically. So you need to take it very, very close actually. So you need your line to be very narrow, but it's also risky because if you take it too narrow, you're not gonna make it to the finish, or you're gonna bounce on this little wall to your right. So you need to find the correct sweet spot, the correct balance, if I may. So yeah, very nicely done by both Trinity and William B. And actually the top sweep player, which is not here, again it was cutted due to some reason. But yeah, Racens, Trinity and William B. So Racens is missing with the top 2. Which actually is the world record. Which actually is the world record without the bug. So yeah, I think let's give him his glory time basically.
Let's follow Racens here for his attempts. I mean, one of the best players out here, of course. I mean, similar approach, but not getting the skid mark, so he's not oversteering too much. Great apex, and then diagonal jump for the release, getting as much speed as possible. And yeah, then the ending will just be the same as William B. The ending, you can really lose a lot, as you've mentioned beforehand.
Yeah,
but,
and actually slow motion, I think slow motion on Racen's end, because Racen's end was the best out of all of the top 10 ever made on this map.
Yeah, because he's not hitting the finish, or the right side of the finish block. He is going backwards into the finish. Like,
yeah, exactly. And instead you wanna basically tilt the car and take it very narrow, almost hitting the bump over there. And he basically did all of that. Look how narrow it is. He is almost getting out of the map, and the car is tilting. It's just ending it on reverse. Crazy, gaining a bit even more hundreds with that.
Yeah. Great ending from Hans there. Great ending. And not hitting the wall. He's not hitting the wall. That is very important to know. He's not hitting the wall.
Yeah, and the only map I actually saw that you want your car to basically be backwards, be in reversed, so that you actually gain a bit more.
Yeah, I have one map in mind. The B... What was that? B5? No, wait. Which map was that? Also with the bug state ending.
No, but I mean you can also end it in normal way here. You're not forced to take it in reverse. But if you do take it in reverse, just because the finish line is what it is, it's what is promising a line, then of course it's gonna be counted earlier for your best time.
True.
So it makes sense.
Not your nose is counting, the first part of your car is counting, right?
Yeah, but I think that is it for AO9. Now for LOL maps.
LOL maps.
Like A10, yes.
Wow, this map. I've played this one. I have a PB of a point 90 or 91. I had to check. But yeah, let's
follow. Very fast.
Yeah, very fast. But yeah, let's follow Sativa's replay, because this map also went through some evolutions. Definitely, because yeah, start is very simple. Just go as direct as possible. Take a diagonal line with the start trick here that you can see, that you get the alignment for the part that is coming up here, and you don't want to steer as little as possible. Then of course very precise turn into a left right that you're doing, because you want your nose to dive. And then hit this part, the top part, and then hit it that your car is rotating into the finish, and you take all the velocity in there and finish actually backwards. Yeah, here you want to finish backwards, because here the finish counts. I can tell you that. If we go into the free camera. Wait. Not internal. I don't want to see the internal camera. I was here. Wait. Never mind. Here. There we go. Let me go into there. I'm spawning a bit late. But yeah, look how he's finishing. Look how he's finishing here. So he's finishing backwards, because that's what counts. This here counts, you know? That he's crossing the finish line like that. And something else doesn't matter, and he just gets it very well, just in the in the top of the arch from this one, and this map can be really hard to do. It is a really hard map to do, especially this release timing that you also have to do. You have to release beforehand.
Yeah, and actually that's what people have been making for the few years before that. I mean, taking it normally and just releasing before even knowing about the trick there. Basically using the roof as a launching pad towards the finish, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then now it has really evolved, and he's also hitting, and you can see he's also hitting this pipe behind there.
But actually, Sativa, I think, is the second or third place here, because there is a faster way to take it. This map, yeah, Sativa is second place.
Yeah.
First place is actually world record by Sinto here, which I believe turned his car after the side ramp to gain even more momentum to the finish. So I can't remember if Sinto did it or not, but
he did it.
There is a faster way to take it. This map, just very, very difficult to pull off.
Let's take a look here how Sinto is doing it. Let's take a look. So you can see his approach is similar at the start, but now he's going for the side ramp that we were talking about. The side ramp means that he is not having to release at all, I think, or just a tiny bit, but just of course less, and then his car is rotating. He also aims for the middle, and with aiming to the middle, he is also finishing in the top of the arch, but this approach is really hard. He's not finishing top, or like Sativa did, but like that, still a great approach. Look how close that was here. Look at that, Tal. Look how close that is.
Amazing. And he's actually gaining three stuff with that, basically. He's also gaining less airtime, avoiding airtime, which is good. He's also getting the Ram Bug, which is kind of I mean, it makes sense if you go to take the ramp in such a way. And also the roof hit is a bit better, so he's gaining what he needs for world record here. The missing 01 basically.
Yeah, great time. I mean, it's pixel perfect. Of course, we could argue that he can jump more into the middle and get a better ending, but finishing this run already is absolutely ridiculous. So 85-0 as Logic or Ollie is saying in my chat. That is an absolute ridiculous time. So nice time here, and I think that's it for the map. It's really hard, but the idea is that you have to release less time approaching the part there, and you also jump diagonal, so that's also a great thing that you have to consider.
Yeah, nice mechanic here. I think this time is an absolute banger, and true, not much to say about this map anymore. I mean, it's a short map after all.
Yeah. So
moving on to, I believe, A11.
Yep. One of your favorite maps, right?
Back in the days, for sure. Right now, not so much. I mean, due to probably pad differences in the dirt part, but nothing too serious. So the starter is actually something worth delaying on, because it's very interesting. Not many tracks in which you see a jump to dive trick, where you jump to have your car tilted and gain more speed early on for the rest of the map. So followed by great turns here and sick no jump, and up to the finish. So you can show this part on slow motion, because this is very, very interesting to see.
The start, you mean, right?
Yeah, basically the start trick, and then this replay is by whose player is this?
That's Alien.
Ah, that's Alien again. So Alien is actually second. First one is Riolo, who is again don't want to get into the drama. I believe you already talked about it. So you can see how he uses the right wheel on the back to gain momentum with the front wheel on your left. I mean, using both of this rotation and tilt of the car to land earlier, gain more speed. Then go to the left to make sure you're able to go to the right and land smoother, basically. Then again, just like AO5, car control in the dirt itself, gaining speed for the rest of the map, not losing your grip, basically. And then just the no jump near the end, carrying all of the speed you already got, not flying to the moon with the car. And,
which is not easy though.
Which is not easy, that's true. And very, very nicely done here. Very nicely done. The car control is sick, especially here in this turn. Also very precise to the left wall there, which is impressive. And also it's possible to get a bug in the end, because it's still Trackmania United and the maps aren't completely perfect. The terrain is a bit bumpy. So luckily for him, he also avoided the bug on the end, which killed many, many innocent runs. That's something I can tell you for sure.
Yeah, I didn't really like this map too much actually, because the start is just so hard. You know what Elegant does here? He minimizes airtime as much as possible and gets speed out of that because he gets a nosedive.
True, and maybe we need to showcase Riolo too or Racens, because the fight in the top, within the top 3 is very intense. That's something I can tell you for sure.
Let's show Riolo and Race Hunt's replay here.
If it works for you though, because sometimes it's broken, so...
Okay, now it's working. So Riolo and Race Hunts will be... I'm gonna follow Race Hunts because he has the slower time. Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah, but basically slower by an inch. I mean, he's third and only 300 later.
But yeah, different approaches here. Different approaches here, actually.
True. I think Riolo's one is superior though. Going for it faster and also reaching the next part without any loss of speed. So still with the upper hand here.
Yep. Interesting.
And also, of course, both of them don't have the bug on the finish, which is fortunate.
Yeah, so we see two different approaches here in this part. So Hans goes for a very, very how can I say that, very diagonal approach to jump in there and get a bit more speed out of that. But Riolo just with, I would say, better gear management there in this part, because you want to open up your steering here in this part to not get the gear down, because if you're still on dirt and your car is gearing up, oh yeah, of course now you didn't hear that because it was late. There was the gear.
I saw that. Actually saw that, but I mean I heard that, but I think they actually took it very, very, very much the same. But Riolo just got there earlier because of the first good turn, and
true.
They take an interesting, different approach, but none of them actually get much out of it, because they're, I mean, they took it for the limit basically on both of these approaches. So not much to gain, I think, right here.
And then also Riolo with great exit speed there, but also different apex there in the ending for Riolo. Let's actually go into his POV, because, you know, both finishes work out. Both finishes work out, but it only worked out because Hans wanted to finish very far to the left here, and Riolo finishes to the right because he had that, like more aggressive line over the part. And also, I think he gained a bit time with that towards Hans with that approach, but of course...
Yeah, because he had a better no-jump turn, but then he's too close to the wall, so he has to go more to the right. And in the meanwhile, Racens is everything gained by Riolo is basically gained back by Racens, so it's kind of a back and forth match here, pretty neck to neck. It's crazy to see.
Yeah,
very nicely done.
And not maxed, I would say, not maxed. We can definitely see a faster time here. We can definitely see a faster time on this track, and yeah, great times from both players. I mean, let's just leave the drama aside, but even if this is cheated, which we don't know, of course there was evidence, it's still a great time. It is still a good time.
And now after analyzing this track, I hope you guys kick me out of the top 10. I'm exactly 10th place here, so I don't think it's a strong time, that's for sure, and definitely didn't follow any of the principles said in mentioned video. So only a question of time, I think.
Yeah, we can get answers.
Nice map.
We will talk about that at some point, but not today. We're going to analyze the replays here together with Race Time in here. So maybe we can get an SO Race Star, because he's also streaming on Twitch, and I really want to give him the shout out because he was approaching me doing that stuff, and we still have 4 more maps to go, and actually it's going quite good. We're not wasting time, but we're not spending too much time on all the tracks. You know, we are in the green right now, and we have the next map coming up, and also a LoL map, right? Kind of.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, behold the most important map, the LoL map, the monster map of the White campaign, A12. I mean, that's some sick stuff going on here. And of course, FWO, you can already see the name everywhere basically, as it's a cat map right now. And I think actually the 3 of them actually are in FWO. Even that GF is kind of a different FWO member, I think. So also that hit by Hefest is so funny to see. So I think let's both talk about this map, because this one is very interesting. I mean, Weird also made a video about this map, talking for like 20 minutes about only this one. It's crazy. You can talk about this one for hours, like the history of it, and but let's try to sum it up. I mean, we could talk about this for hours, but still don't want to get into 2 AM with only one map.
Maybe the approach, the first part, the approach. Why you do a small drift there, and maybe also the approach at the start. Maybe that is important to understand.
Yeah. So basically, you need your right wheel basically to lift up, so that you're able to have a better Uber bug. But before it was a Uber bug, because people didn't know it's even possible this time, it was actually a bug slide. And before it was the bug slide, as I've said, this map got a long history. It was the normal cut by William B, because the times were getting so intense and so close. During that period of time, I think there was a sick fight between Alexei and Karen back in the time, back in the days, and the Ichigo as well. Some very known names. And then of course came William B with the cut, and then El Musti and actually me with another cut, but he did it a bit better. And then Trabadia and Galax, basically Trabadia was actually the funniest cut I ever saw on this map, because I don't know if you saw that, but definitely look on Bruto's video to see this one. He basically got almost out of the map, came back with a sick grass slide, drove the entire grass section, and got to the finish sooner before anyone else. So that was simply crazy to see. And then following Trabadia, it was Galax, and then it was Tortugo, which
true. He had also WR here,
which is now an influencer, I think, on his country. So nice to see. And Tortugo actually fought many times on this map, so a very known name on this track. Then it was Rebus. So Rebus is the first interesting guy here after Trabadia, I think, because he was the first one to get a Uber bug, and he got the Uber bug so fast that he actually drove almost outside of the map. So he needed to come back and slowly but surely get into the finish, just a little bit faster than anyone else.
I think he landed here, right? He landed here, if I recall correctly.
Exactly. He landed here, and he needed to like almost get in reverse even, but he was still able to handle his heartbeat and control and get into the finish. So very impressive by him. And then of course Tortugo took it back, because Tortugo being Tortugo. And then Sativa with the nose bag approach, which was I think one of the early cases in Nadio maps. So very interesting to see by Sativa. And then of course Trabadia, revenging his long gone world record. And then for the first time in history, Uber bug into the finish directly, done by Steph.
True.
So and then casual people beat him by MC7 and Hefest.
Yeah, and there we have it.
Yeah, and a few more battles until Hefest again. But this map actually got very interesting history. I do recommend you guys to watch Virtual's video on this topic, because it's very nicely made.
Yeah.
And, crazy stuff. But basically, no cut track that got into normal cut tracks that got into bug slide, that got into Uber bug, and just by the amount of times I'm saying got into, you can see how rich is the history of such a map. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, just look at that. It's such a simple map. There's one checkpoint, and then there's the finish. Or there's some finish block. But also the no-cut history is very, very interesting, because the WR is from Trabadia. And, well, I mean, on this map you can also do speed slides and those stuffs. Yeah, I mean, you can also see it in the history, but this would like really blow up the content that is on the map. So summarized, we had a great fight between Alexei and Karyan, was it right, on this map?
Yeah, Alexei, Karyan, and Ichigo back in the days.
And then,
so very no names in the era.
And then William B found a cut where he overwalled here, touched this part, and drove into the finish, and it was just a bit faster. People pulled that one off. Then we had just a normal bug slide here without this approach that people went for, which is the Uber bug approach. I'm also going to go in depth in that later on, or just after that. And by just doing a bug slide and then sliding into that finish, or just sliding here and then taking the momentum into the finish, and that was like 17, I think even 16-second time. And then we had some other evolutions in there, and then eventually the bug slide approach, which is executed by a small slide. You can see the alignment from the players here, which is really hard to nail, but you want to slide over this Ramstein, or over this Randstein, in order to get your back up. To get you back up, this gives you more tilt to the left, because you have more distance, or you have more time in the air, and your car is just landing way better and gets like just an approach, you know, you need to be in this 90-degree angle, and that's what the players are doing, and then you have to bong into the wall and feel lucky to jump into the finish, and that's what they did. A very, very complex track despite being so short, but yeah, it is very hard to pull this map off.
True, but I wouldn't call it luck though, because as you said, it's a pretty deterministic game. So as you said, you want to basically get your wheels up to approach the left, but you also want your car to stay as much as you can to the right, so that you actually get a sick Uberbug and not just flying into the moon without proper landing. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this map has the richest history out of all Nadeo maps, by far. And Trobada's cut, as mentioned, is very, very impressive. Also, another fight with Galax, which are two players, Trobada and Galax, with the rich history of the map, also cutway. So nice to see them both on the cut and the no cutway.
True.
But I think that's it. Unless we're gonna talk about
we could
3 more hours.
We
can talk about it for hours, that's for sure.
But that would be a bit too nerdy. We're gonna do that for the off streamers. So A12, definitely a great map. I also did that cut, but only the normal way, like the normal bug slide approach, because either you were bug yeeted me out of that, or I just gone into the wrong direction and it wasn't faster. So now we have A13 coming up. Also a map that is, yeah, I would say not that easy. I have the replay from virtual here, so you might ask.
It may be the toughest within all of the first 15 maps, I think. Out of the white tracks, I mean, the cut is definitely one of the toughest.
Yeah, the cut, but the normal way, the map is very boring in that regard, because we only have one checkpoint, and yeah, people were putting 1 and 1 together. But you might wonder, why is virtual not going for a very tight turn here? And that's because of the gear. You know, you want to get the gear up, I think, before that uphill, and then you have to turn around here. And it doesn't really matter if you hit the checkpoint like virtual did very, very early on. The speed matters. The speed matters here on this part. And virtual is just getting the best amount of speed out of that. You can see it. He's squeezing his car into there and getting so much speed, and then he's approaching the uphill, because there every kilometer per hour matters. And now we have the cut coming up, so another track with a cut where virtual is going for a slide, a hard slide and a hard wall crash by sliding here, and then he's instantly turning to the left as he hit the wall, and it's as he overwall, and then he steers to the right again in order to stabilize his car and stop the tilt of the car and get a good landing. Can be pretty hard to get, but virtual did it really well. Also the landing here, by not getting a bug or just flip or something, or just get a slowdown. Virtual got it really good, and let me show that one in real time again, because then you understand what I do. Also the slide beforehand, really important for the hard wallbang, not easy to do. And the speed really matters here. The speed really is very important. And then the slide here to the left and to the right steer, and then there you have it. So that is the map, and yeah, the normal way on this track is quite boring, isn't it?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, because there are some key points, some key and vital points that you need to do to take it correctly. Like the first drift is it's gotta be very short, very precise, and you need to be precise yet another time for the rest of the track, and then basically balance your car for the rest of the other landings and to the finish. But yeah, not too much to say about it as opposed to the cuts, of course. That's something very different. Virtual actually is only the second place. I mean, Link here, I believe, is the world record with 28:02, I believe. But very nice replay by Virtual as well. I think the only difference between them is the cut, basically. The preparation for the cut. Like when you said you need to gather as much speed as possible, Virtual got it a bit late, I think, as opposed to Link here. So Link had the upper hand and of course finished earlier.
Let's take a look here.
But if you know the annoying kids that knock on doors and basically run away, that's basically what you want to do with the checkpoint. Say hi checkpoint, bye checkpoint, and don't see it ever again. Just clock the time and move on. That's basically what you want to do.
You see how close that was with the checkpoint here. Link already so far ahead, and of course it's a very similar approach, but yeah, you also don't want to bump too much because you want to minimize airtime. Pavlek got it really good, but he didn't do it that well. And
and of course very nice landing for the finish, because I did had my car opposite down. which not only me, I mean many players who try to cut it professionally got the car upside down so many times here after the jump basically. So a lot of stuff to avoid. So very nicely done by both Link, Virtual, and actually Powerlek as well.
Yeah, great time, and also one of the more unknown players for me, but still a great time from the Polish driver. And yeah, Link has the WRE with a 28.02, so no sub 28 thus far. But yeah, that is map A13. Now we have 2 more maps left. A14 is the next one. A14 is the next one. Is it my turn? Yeah, A14 is my turn actually. Okay, let me check, because A14 is a map where I accidentally, and I mean accidentally really guys, I did a top 10 time here because I was just casually hunting this map. I had like top 30, top 40 time on this track, and then I did top 10 solo mode on this map. And this map is definitely not easy, and I got lucky there with the ending, but you're gonna see it in a minute. So we have the 3 replays here from Link, from Race Hans, and from Riolu. So very strong players, and the first key point is the gear here. So I'm just gonna skip the start. I'm gonna go into that later, but the gear here is really important to hold. You want to get that, and then instantly turning on a project from the very right there, and then this part. You can get so much speed out of that. I did it so well actually. Link also with a good amount of speed, but yeah, I mean, he was the landing. I mean, you can see the landing here. They were so even here, and then this landing has decided a lot. And Link, you can see it, his car tilted a little bit too much. You can see it here, and with that he didn't get grip and couldn't accelerate, and with that he lost, yeah, quarter of a car length, if not even more, maybe half a car length. And
yeah, and also some speed for the finish. That's also unfortunate, but not too much though. Not too much compared to Real and Resens, I think.
Yeah, but
yeah, you need that little opposite direction technique from the movement from there to the road once again.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And also the ending here, you want to split up the turn a bit and then get this no jump, because again, rule number 1, minimize airtime. And the start is also like minimizing the airtime. That's why you approach it from the left there to get this flow transition and just get it very well. Take a diagonal, not steering too much on the dirt, and then just get a good landing. Hans and Riolo did it the best, and also for the ending. So great map to play, and also a nice map to hunt. Very simple, but a lot of things can go wrong here. It looks so easy, but I mean, it always looks easy, right?
Yeah, for starters, I mean, things that could go wrong, definitely the dirt part before the finish. many runs are gonna die there, that's for sure. And also for the start, I mean, first jump is kind of against your instincts, because you want to turn more with your car, but you're forced to turn just a little bit, land straight, land well, and only then turn, which is kind of against your instinct, because normally what you do is turn more and then try to stabilize it, but it won't work here. You're just gonna lose your gear time and time again. So that's something you definitely wanna avoid, basically.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean. And yeah, the ending is then just coin flip, but of course, deterministic game, the approach doesn't change. Yeah, but still, it can get really hard to like just get the turn through, get the most speed out of that, and then of course nail that part, you know, that no jump there with the bump, with that wheel bump that you have to get, else you lose a lot of time on this track.
Yeah, and also nice revenge here by Raisins. I mean, this time by Riolo wasn't easy to beat, that's for sure. He went on a revenge campaign of his own, beating 15 world records again. Beaten from him, he just beat all of them again, or at least almost all of them. So great. That was, I think, one of the toughest maps that he needed to get back, basically.
Greatest of all time, Hans. One of the greatest Navio players out there.
True, especially when it comes to stadium, then it's top notch, that's for sure.
But yeah, I think that's it for A14 already. I mean, this map has only some 2 to 3 elements that are important, but you have to get all of them perfectly. And yeah, the WR is from Hans at point 20. And let's go into the next map already, Tal. Let's go into the last map, A15.
Yeah, unfortunately the last map already. I mean, we're having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, and speaking of fun, very fun fact about this track. The time by Raisins, the world record tie, was actually done today. Done very much today. Yeah, so it wasn't top 3 before. I think he had point 35 or something. So it just improved. And unfortunately, I see that replays are broken again. But perhaps you can actually do Riolo versus Raisins, as both of them right now are having the upper hand, first and second, and also the world record tie. So yeah, very interesting to see if it works. Let's hope it does.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So basically, the whole start is about keeping speed. I can't stress it enough. In the dirt part, you start by approaching it from a bit to the left, landing on the darker side of the dirt to get an even speed boost, kind of a small speed boost. It's a known trick that players use to achieve more time and gain more hundreds in every track. That is definitely it definitely works here as well. I mean, it also you exit early from the turn, and also with higher speed, so it works on both aspects of this. And then you can see, I think, a different line, but not too much of a different line. I mean, Riolo's getting a bit higher, but he also drops right in just the right time, so he's not really losing or gaining anything out of it. And Raisins, with it's tough to see it right here, but his car is a bit landing a bit sooner. So yeah, you can see Riolo's car is completely straight, and Raisins' car is just a tiny bit tilted, nothing too much. It won't affect him badly, that's for sure. And then they both landed. Raisins with a tiny bit more speed, nothing too serious, and it slowly catches up until the finish. And given a better speed here and better air brake and better cut, he managed to still get a tie here. So very, very impressive by both players.
Yeah, Hans was actually ahead here, but Riolo with a better ending because he just got, you know, he had the bump here. You can see it, the small bump that Riolo didn't get, this small bump there, and with that getting a little bit of a slowdown. So he actually had it, but this ending can be really, really devastating. Also Riolo ending more to the left than the ending, but you can see Riolo catching up here just a little bit. Hans being ahead, but Riolo ending it more to the left.
My bad actually. I actually said Raisins got in the finish. I actually meant the other way around. I meant Raisins got in the start and then Riolo, of course, in the finish.
Yeah.
So crazy stuff. Also, I see Herfest and Rollin in the chat. So also to mention, of course, they are part of this ongoing amazing battle.
Yeah. Great players, of course. I mean, for me already it was a mystery to do the start because those really, really wide wiggles that you have to do here, right? This really, like, it's the rule that I've set on dirt. Like, you want to smooth steer or you want to steer as much as possible, but not oversteer, you know? But this track is definitely my least favorite one, especially because of this start, you know, this weird ass wiggle, and then also this jump here, which is apparently like the whole track, you know, you preserve all your speed from there. Hans gets an interesting landing here that you've already mentioned, and then we have also the small left tap that Hans' nose is dropping down, his left nose is dropping down earlier, and he just gets ground tagged a little bit sooner with that and has a bit more speed than Riolo. And then the ending, of course, also so very, very unfortunate if you make a mistake there, which can happen.
I think he's one of the first guys, if not the first, to actually do that, to perform it in a different way, which actually happens to be faster. And also for the start, I mean, speaking of the wiggle, it's not only a wiggle here, because you do want to get a nice approach from moving from darker dirt from normal dirt and the other way around. So if you consider all of this together, you need to get a very specific line, which is tough to hit. You still have a bit of a margin of error. So basically, Riolo and Raisins are both playing on this little margin of errors to get the best outcome speed-wise, and of course getting not faster, but being in front already, one coming to the next part, and with more speed.
I think Hans could have actually done a 31 with a good ending.
Yeah, might happen.
Or at
with
least
a better cut, just like Riolo.
Yeah.
He also had more speed, I think, so keep that in mind. I think it's definitely possible for him if he hunts this seriously. Of course, not easy to do though.
Yeah, but Hans and Riolo are both good on dirt, yeah.
Yeah, but that is the last map out of the 15 maps for today. So hope you enjoyed, guys. You, of course,
well, it was
continue, but I mean, was a pleasure for me. That's for sure. Analyzing is definitely always welcome.
It was great. I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Because so for the people who just joined in, we analyzed. So it has nothing to do with the cheating scandal or anything. we we analyzed A1 to A15 and just tried to give our knowledge into that and just try to like understand what they are doing there and why they are faster and why this is the WR line. That's what we did. And if you enjoyed that, guys, make sure to firstly follow Raystar Club. Maybe you can just write in the chat and then I can give you a shout out. Leave him a follow because it was his idea of approaching me. That is definitely very well. And maybe if we should do it in the future as well, maybe the green campaign and then also blue and red and black. Of course, blue and red will take a bit longer, but I think that is a great thing. Or what do you think? I think it worked out very great.
Yeah, I also, of course, very enjoyed and looking forward. I mean, there are many more maps and campaigns to analyze, and let's do our best. But of course, we could get even more in depth than that. But I don't want it to be like 1 hour per track kind of thing. So left it, kind of basic, kind of main techniques every map. So I think that's I can't call it too basic, but that's basically it. Also, I saw so many comments and chats in there. So for the guys who asked, I'm sorry for talking too fast. That's my basic speed. And it's Race, not Raketa or anything, so...
Yeah, it's Race and then Ta, and then your name is Tal, and you just to put the L away.
Yeah, I wasn't too creative as a kid, so I'm sorry, guys.
But yeah, I just knew that from Race Hans, so also nice coincidence there. But I mean, you were talking about that. But I think it's a great format. I mean, I learned something about how to properly set up a camera and also about some things. And actually, I have to say, I didn't even look into the notes that we did. Did you?
Sometimes, but actually I enjoyed more to do it unscripted and just talk and do what I feel like. I feel like it's much better, and of course I had much fun. So looking forward to continue with that.
Yeah, I think so as well. So maybe we can do that every Monday from now on, and maybe just do when we are finished. But guys, make sure to follow Raystar and feel free to also upload that one to YouTube. You can definitely do that and download it if you want to. Hopefully, we should figure something out with the delay. Maybe I should stream on Discord then as well or something like that you can see my screen,
Nah, it's fine, I think. But yeah, I actually like the idea. So I'll make sure my Mondays are free for that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
for the evenings.
That was great. That was great, man. Thank you so much for joining. That was great. I mean, we overshot it a bit with 1 hour and 30 almost, or 1 hour 15, but yeah, we had a lot to talk about, right?
I didn't even notice time is slowly passing by, but yeah, great fun.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining, man. It was a pleasure, and I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. Then we can recap everything and how everything worked out. But I'm gonna continue streaming now. Trackmania 2020.
True.
Yeah.
True. Thank you too. And,
are you gonna go live now? Or will you?
Soon in like 15 minutes probably.
Okay, then guys, really make sure to give Tal or Raystar a follow. Please do that. He had this idea. We just used my stream to host it. It is great, and yeah, we're gonna definitely do that again. He's gonna go live soon, so leave him a follow on Twitch. Say hi there, give him some love, and yeah, thank you very much for joining, man.
Okay, and thanks you once again, and keep rocking, man.
Yeah,
doing great.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Okay,
see ya.
Goodbye. Thank you too.